I now call this meeting of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association Student Senate to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to begin our Student Senate meeting taking place on Thursday, November 6, 2025 with a land acknowledgement. We recognize that Kansas State University, as the first land-grant institution, stands on the ancestral lands of the Kaw people. Our state of Kansas is home to 4 federally recognized Native nations, the Iowa, Kickapoo, Prairie Band Potawatomi, and Sac and Fox. We must remember that the land serving as the foundation for this institution was, and still is, stolen land acquired by white settlers. We pledge our commitment to creating decolonized spaces at the university while advocating for the support and future success of Indigenous faculty, staff, and students at K-State. Speaker Pro Tem Lee will now take it away with first roll call.
Welcome back. Alvarez. Oh, yeah, you're right. Barnes.
Here.
Benson.
Here.
Black.
Here.
Biswell.
Here.
Brown Logan.
Here.
Brown Wyatt.
Here.
Carey.
Here.
Koch.
Here.
Dunn.
Here.
Erickson.
Here.
Freeman.
Here.
George.
Yeah.
Glasscock.
Here.
Guru Schenker.
Here.
Halstead is
Here by proxy.
Gotcha. Heller.
Here.
Hernandez. Hernandez. Holmes.
Here.
Holzmeister.
Here.
Hoffman. Hoffman. Gotcha. Karuna Rothna.
Here.
Kramer. Kramer. Kraus.
Here.
Jacobson. Jacobson.
Here.
Hassan Shakib.
Here.
Landwehr.
Here.
Lilly.
Here.
Loeb. Loeb. Mickey.
Here.
Mitchell.
Here.
Olingunju.
Here.
Otto.
Here.
Pena.
Here.
Perry. I got 26. Phillips.
Here.
Palenko Castro.
Here.
Potter. Park. Gotcha. Prey.
Proxy.
Rafferty.
Here.
Richburg.
Here.
Richenberg.
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Rudd.
Here by proxy.
Scarborough.
Here.
Shellhaze.
Here.
Shirky.
Here.
Shasavari.
Here.
Springer.
Here.
Sushanik.
Here.
Till. Trump.
Here.
Sacco.
Here.
Okay, for proxies tonight, I have Springer for Rudd, Shirky for Prey, Lilly for Dominguez, Phillips for Perry, Biswell for Halstead, Sushanik for Alvarez. Is there anyone else that I'm missing here? Perfect. Thank you, guys.
All right, so we'll now move into first open period. Our first open period speaker this evening is Mr. Marshall Stewart from K-State Governmental Relations. If you'd like to come up to the front, Mr. Stewart, you're welcome to use this, or you can stand at the podium.
I use mine. How about that?
There we go. All right, if you'd please close your laptops. All right, let's give them our full attention.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you, and thank you, Andrew, for the invitation. It's good to be with you tonight. I'm Marshall Stewart. I serve as Chief of Staff, but let me say a word about what I do. I think that's important. I do serve as Chief of Staff, but I'm also Executive Vice President for External Engagement, and that's the real big job that I have. External engagement is everything external to the university. So if you think about everything from government relations, corporate engagement, economic development, the theater, the museum, K-State Gardens, if you go communications and marketing, go across to military affairs, all the things that are external. I also work a lot with alumni athletics and foundations. So all the things that are external facing of the institution, that's my portfolio. Now, let's be clear. I got a great team, a great group of people that work in that space every day, doing good things in this state and around the country to ensure that we have the branding and the sort of the view that we want people to have of the institution. So whether it's this way we're seen visibly or the product we do in a community, like through Extension, our people that work in cooperative Extension that do things in community every single day. All those things kind of roll up to me. So that's the external engagement side, and that's where government relations sits. I'm very fortunate to have two people, and I'll mention them specifically, Matt Casey and Jalen Lane, who actually do that work every day. They're in D.C. or in Topeka, off and on every single day, every few days. They're doing that work. Also taking, this time of year, they're taking legislators on campus visits because they're not in session. So a lot of that going on. But that's the vastness of the work. Now, the other thing, when I came here almost three years ago, President Linton asked me if I'd also be chief of staff. So I started with that, and then the chief of staff was a part of the package. Chief of staff means I see everything else. So imagine sitting in a seat where you get to see everything external, which is the job, but then I get to run sort of point on everything internal. So I see everything the provost sees, all the academic programs. I see all the things the vice president of research sees. I see things that happen in student government. They roll into me too. I see things that happen that Dr. Lane, y'all work with him a lot, for instance, at all the things that might come through his office. I see things that happen in fraternities and sororities and you name it, anything that you can imagine happening in a university, it usually flies through. And I get at least a view of it before it happens or as it's happening, or hopefully to stop them things from happening some days. So I will tell you that I never dreamed I'd get to do this. It's one of those things that you start out in a career, and if you'd asked me when I graduated from North Carolina State University, that's my alma mater, got 3 degrees from there over many years. But when I started out my career, I was a high school agriculture teacher, and I thought I'd do that forever. I'd grown up in FFA, and my ag teachers convinced me that I should go and be a part of this thing called NC State, and that's why I went to North Carolina State. And never would I have dreamed I'd done this, though. So it's been a lot of years. I was a school teacher, worked in D.C. for about 7 years, then had the opportunity to come back to NC State, worked there for 21. I was at the University of Missouri in Columbia as a vice chancellor for almost 7 years, and now I've been here for almost 3 years. So that's the whole career in about 3.5 minutes or something like that. So tonight, what they wanted me to really focus on, I think, if I understood the notes right, that Andrew sent me, really focus on government affairs. I think there's all the interest in that. But I'll talk about anything you got questions on. So if you got a random question, if I don't know the answer, I'm going to refer it to Andrew and Evelyn up here. They'll take care of it. But I certainly am open to take any questions and really hopefully help you have a better understanding of what we do. Let me just say a few things broadly about government affairs. I think, we probably, your generation, as you sit here right now, I will tell you, you're living in the most interesting time of politics and public affairs and government affairs that I have ever seen. I've been in it, working in different levels of it, pieces of it for a long time, but I've never seen the amount of change and the amount of polarization and lots of different ideas and differing ideologies from all over the place that I've seen today. And it is an interesting time to be there. To navigate that is part of the job. How do we navigate it? How do we ensure that K-State continues to move forward, gets what we need? We've just come off of this last 3 years. If you take the last really 3 legislative sessions here in Topeka, we brought in more money for Kansas State University than at any time in its history, over $300 million from the state. It's been an incredible, incredible run for us, and I really credit the legislators and others who have been really supportive of us in so many ways. So K-State's doing really well on that side of things right now. Everything from money for biomanufacturing to a net new veterinary diagnostic lab, $128 million facility that's coming here in about 2 years. The Ag Innovation Project, some of you I know majoring in agriculture, we've been able to bring $75 million into our institution through public funding, and then philanthropies brought in the rest of that to a total of $210 million. It's been incredible to see the amount of support we do have. Now, that doesn't mean we always agree. There's a lot of opportunities for us to have deep conversations with our folks in Topeka. And so, but in the midst of all that, we've been able to do really, really well. At the federal level, we've done really well too. We're very fortunate to have a great delegation. We were just talking about that. Our 6 folks there, 2 senators, 4 congressional offices, do a terrific job with internships and all the things that you see stack up there. But also in terms of bringing money back to Kansas, we've been very fortunate in that space. Everything from biomanufacturing to the vet school, new investments at Salina, Kansas, at our campus there, new investments at Olathe. I mean, you name it, we've done really, really well. And so, again, the thing you should feel good about is in the midst of all this chaos that you might see and all this you wonder about, there are people doing really good things for Kansas State University, and that's a good takeaway. You should feel good about that. If they didn't believe in us, regardless of what you may see in social media or some podcast, somebody out there is believing in us because they are continuing to support us. So That gives you kind of a broad view. There are some things that I thought you'd be really interested in. One of those is executive orders. As you know, when the Trump administration came in January, there was a barrage of those, and they're still coming at times. Some of those dealt with higher education, things like DEI, things like all kinds of issues, but really DEIs that dealt with higher education. Obviously, when a president of the United States signs an executive order, usually these days they go to the courts, but in the meantime, you got to comply. So you don't, they'll deal with it in the courts, but that takes a long time. So we have had to do some things differently in that space, and that's not just us. That's all public universities and really private universities, even privates that receive funding from the federal level had to do that as well. So a school like Stanford, Duke, those kind of schools that are private also had to do that as well. So we've done some adjustments there, as you probably well know. Also, if you look at the state level, Senate Bill 125, which was made famous this past spring, dealt with a lot of things with DEI, and we obviously had to make some maneuvers, but that's no different than what they've done in Texas, Florida, Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia. A lot of other states have been doing the same thing, and we saw our legislature following that lead. So we deal with that, and we adjust, and we figure out how we can continue to navigate and again keep those dollars flowing for Kansas State University, because you gotta do that, but you also got to keep the money flowing. So it's been an interesting time to be in that space. I do want you to know that regardless of where you sit politically, be it hard right, hard left, or somewhere in the middle, we live in a great country, and I don't want you to lose faith in that. It's a great place, and the ideas that people share and the way they collide, and you see a lot of things played out in the media today. Quite frankly, when you get down to it, you don't want the federal government moving a whole lot, because when they do bad things. So that's why it takes a long time. It's an incremental process. Even at the state level, it takes time to move issues and policies forward. You really want that to happen, and that's why the founders and the framers of the Constitution set it up the way they did. So it would take time. It's just like when you guys deliberate on an issue here. There's discussion, there's debate, there's likes and dislikes. Somebody wins at the end of the day, and hopefully you come up with something that people can all at least live with. And that's kind of the process that you see playing out at the federal and state level. I'll stop there. I know I've rattled on for maybe 7 or 8 minutes there, 8 or 9 minutes. What questions do you have? I'll take anything you got about anything that deals with Kansas State University. So other than telling you how we're going to do a couple weeks on the football or in basketball, I don't know. I mean, I go to games just like you do. I have no predictions on that. But otherwise, I'll try to do whatever I can to be helpful to you tonight. Questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, you see a lot of.
Yeah, you're.
I'm sorry. I have to let you
That's
respond.
totally
I'm sorry about that.
Anyways, we see a lot of research dollars go away, especially with some of these budget
Yep.
cuts that Donald Trump has put in place. What have you guys been trying to do to try to put that back, get more grad students in?
We have been really judicious on this. You see some universities who have got in the middle of lawsuits about all that. You have not seen us do that. That's intentional. I think you're wasting a lot of capital. We are, again, regardless of politics, we're in a state that tends to lean red right now. And so you have to understand that those are the taxpayers of the state. And we're a state institution, and we have to be responsible to that. So regardless of where you sit, the majority here is that. So a lot of your blue states, they're the ones that's suing. Well, they're on the other side of that. So always look behind that when you see that. For us, what it's meant is initially we were looking at somewhere around $130, $140 million in that range. We have brought that down substantially. We've clawed a lot of that money back. We had our faculty redo grants, bring them back. We have actually made great progress. The biggest place that we lost money was something called Feed the Future Labs. Feed the Future Labs, there were 3 here. Those are through USAID. And you have heard all about USAID. Of all the Feed the Future Labs, and there was like 6 or 7 universities in the country that had these, and these really deal on global food and agricultural issues. Of all the ones in the country, there's only one that's left funded, and that's at Kansas State University. It's about a $28 million project. We got ours back. Nobody else did. So we must have done something right, to your point. We have been very, very careful. We play surgical politics at that. We don't make a lot of noise. We just go in quiet and get it done. And that's what I tell Matt and Jalen, and they're great at it. is stay focused on the mission. So if you look at our overall, we've clawed a lot of money back. If you take out the other Feed the Future labs, which would probably range somewhere in the 50 million plus that we lost there, we then lost probably another 15 million in other grants that we haven't recovered. So we're probably down 75, 80 million, somewhere in that range, but that's nothing compared to other institutions. One of the reasons it has not hurt us as bad is we don't get near as much, we're not nearly as reliant on NIH funding, National Institute of Health, National Science Foundation, Department of Energy, and Department of Defense. Those are 4 big buckets. Institutions that are big and they go after grants. If you have a healthcare system, for instance, you're seeing schools like KU get hurt right now because they go after NIH money. Schools that really are big in those portfolios have been hurt worse than we have. We've actually dodged a lot of that. I think when it's all said and done and all settles, we're going to actually be in a good position because what's happening with as they reset grants, they're going to open up more for schools like us in the middle of the country. A lot of the money federally, something like 60% has gone to what's called AAU institutions, which tend to be Ivy League, high-end research in some of those coastal areas like the East Coast, West Coast. A lot of that money is going to be pushed to the middle of the country. So we're going to actually, I think when it's all said and done, which is probably going to take another 18 to 24 months, I think we're actually going to see opportunity to get more money here, which is a good thing. So again, that we have nothing to do with that. That's being played out way above our pay grade, but I think we're going to be okay. So in the long run, I think we'll be okay. It's just having to go through navigate the alligators right now because it's interesting. I'll say that. So great question. No easy answer, but we're trying to do the best we can. And again, we've not suffered nearly as bad as some. Now, our research folks will tell you they need more.
Time for questions has expired.
Senator Glasscock.
I move to extend time for questions by 2 minutes.
Next question.
Yeah, Senator Glasscock.
Thank you for coming here to talk with us today. With K-State being so successful on the state stage, getting money back to K-State, the institution, are you expecting for next year to hold tuition stagnant?
They are, well, that's a decision obviously you have a lot of say in. This group, obviously the body of students has a lot to say in it. I know it's President Linton's desire to keep it as minimal as possible. Part of the challenge with that is to, first of all, we have inflationary costs, which are going up astronomically, and it's nothing to do with any of you. Energy costs, for instance, are higher than they've ever been. You don't see that, but that's a real reality. I know he's going to do all he can. I don't think there's any promises on tuition, but obviously this body has a say in that before it goes to the Board of Regents. And I think that's a really cool thing for K-State. Not every school has that in the country. So I've been in 2 others. They might have been shared what was going to happen, but they didn't have any say in it. So I think your voice in that's really, really important.
Chair Shirkey.
How does this affect new programs? Like, you know, I think years back we did like the new bio facility, right? It was federally funded. Some of those other federal.
MBAF?
Yeah. What kind of areas are we continuing to develop despite these financial obstacles?
Yeah, you're going to see us continue to grow. I mean, we're already strong in biosecurity. We're very strong in animal health. That's why MBAF is here. That's why BRI is here. You're going to see us continue to grow strong in that. You're going to see us go in one of the new areas. You're going to see us go into is nuclear. Nuclear energy is a very, very highly supported area federally and state. There's also companies that are interested in coming here. We have a nuclear reactor on this campus, also, obviously a research reactor. We've got that operational again. We're looking at trying to grow that out. So you're going to see more of that. I think you're going to see a lot more in what we call value-added food, where you take the food product, the raw product, and then make it into something else, either something you eat or non-edible product.
I'm so sorry, but time for questions has expired again.
Thank you.
Senator Pena.
Move to extend time 5 minutes.
That requires a suspension of rules.
Max is 4 minutes.
You have 2 more minutes left.
Hold on, can you just take it back? Sorry, I'll fix it, I promise.
Take it back.
Chair Lilly.
I move to suspend the rules and extend the time for questions by 5 minutes.
Second.
Okay, speaker's time is extended. Parliamentarian code.
What are some of the biggest problems that you see students facing currently, since you can see so many things?
Students in general?
Yes.
Oh,
Or
gosh.
use case
I think if you look at the broad landscape, this is not. I mean, I think it's K-State, but it's nothing different here than anywhere else. We see a lot of students obviously continuing. One of the things we're really concerned about is student debt. We're trying to do all we can through PowerCap Financial, through need-based scholarships, through growing our philanthropy and that portfolio of the foundation to really offset that. And we've brought in a lot of money in the last couple of years to try to bring that down and make it manageable. So student debt's one. Another one that we really see a lot of, not only here but other places, is really all the stress that's in society, and it really shows itself in mental health. I think those services and those needs, they probably were always there, but I think they're more evident today for whatever reason. So I think that's another one. Another one that we're keeping our eye on is just the whole area of student enrollment in general. We are facing an enrollment cliff nationally in 2026. It's just less babies were born 18 years earlier, and that number will continue to decline for about 10 years. So that's national. So when you're in a state like ours, it's flat in terms of population growth, and we certainly aren't growing as a state. We're flat or declining. That becomes a problem for us. So that kind of stuff really is what's on our mind a lot as it deals with the student experience and making sure that students have access to education, affordable education, and have a high quality education when they're here.
Chair Black.
What's your favorite thing about K-State?
Oh my gosh. You know, I think, and it's going to sound very corny what I'm going to say, I think K-State has a special quality about, and this sounds weird what I'm getting ready to say, but there's a factor here of people really believing in the institution. It's belief. You know, you'll find if you go to other institutions, I've been at NC State for a long time, Missouri for a long time, great universities. But here, there is such a commitment to purple, and I don't mean that just the color, but the idea of oneness, of being together. We're not all the same, but there's a shared identity. And I think that a shared identity, that feeling, that belief that people have, that shared experience, it doesn't matter. You can come from anywhere. I talked to 3 or 4 people tonight coming in, where you're from in Kansas, and they were telling me where they were from. It doesn't matter where you're from. When you leave here, you're all Kansas State University. And I think that identity is so strong here. It's in your DNA, and it's generation. And so I think that's really a special quality. The other thing I'm really proud of here is the fact that when our students do graduate, 96% get in jobs within 6 months of graduation in their degree, or they're going on to grad school. I think that's phenomenal. So you get a great education. There's a sense of one and a unity here. And again, I think those things together really make K-State a special place.
Mr. Stewart, I actually have a question for you.
Oh, back here.
What do you think has been one of the most rewarding experiences or like accomplishments throughout your time here at K-State?
Here? Probably for me, when I got here, one of the things that we were really, really concerned about, and it really is not in external affairs, it's not been that piece of it, it's been the seeing enrollment really turn around in spite of all the negative factors of demographics. This year's jump, having the 4th largest freshman class in our history, that's huge. It's not lost on me. And I knew when I got here and talking with President Linton, I told him, I said, if we don't do anything else, we got to get this student enrollment turned. Now, I don't deal with that every day, but we've had a great team. You guys are a big part of that because some of you obviously helped lift that up. You encouraged others to come. Getting that message out through our communications, our marketing, our enrollment management. Probably the thing I'm most proud of right now is just really seeing us grow, because people want to be a part of something that's growing, that's winning. And as long as we keep growing, more people want to come here. So I think that's really probably the thing I look at over the last 3 years, that's really been a key factor for K-State in looking to the future.
Chair Suchanek.
Can you tell us what K-State is doing within the next few years to be a more sustainable university?
Yes. We actually have had students come in and talk to us about that. And one of the things that really has informed, I don't know if they've had have y'all had anybody here talk about the master plan? Y'all had that? They talk about what it's going to look like over the next 10 years with walkways and all this kind of thing.
Time for questions has expired. Please extend it.
Senator Glasgow.
I move to suspend the rules and extend time for questions by 2 minutes.
Okay, speaker time is extended.
I think the master plan, though, if you get a look at that, I think you see a lot of things in sustainability. Walkability, healthy lifestyles, making sure that our buildings, we're taking down a lot of old buildings right now, and old structures that are not, they're certainly not LEED certified, to say the least. They didn't even know what LEED certified was when that stuff was built. And then as we go into buildings and reinvent them, we're building them to make sure they're sustainable in that way too, with the materials we use and the way we go about that. So I think all that stuff is happening in that master plan process that students had involvement in, the community did, faculty did, alumni did. I think that really is setting the bar of what we're going to look like in sustainability in the future. So I think it's really good, and it's a turn we need to make. There's no question.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you so very much.
Y'all let me off
for your
easy. Thank you for
time.
having me tonight. It's been fun.
All right, any other First Up Imperial speakers? Okay, with that, we'll move into the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Chair Shirkey,
Move to approve the minutes unanimously.
Second.
any objections? All right, the minutes stand approved. Okay, for announcements this evening. The 2026-2027 Attorney General applications are open now. If you're interested in applying, please fill out the application before November 10th. If you have any questions, reach out to Attorney General Katie Albertson with further, and she can give you some further information. And then the link to apply is attached there on the agenda. And then this week, we are recognizing Senator Haley Biswell for going above and beyond the legislative duties of a senator. Since the beginning of the term, Senator Biswell has sought ways to challenge herself and expand her knowledge of Senate. She's eagerly served as a member of the Tuition and Fee Strategy Committee, Strategic Oversight Committee, and volunteered with the Emerging Leaders Program. Thank you, Haley. Okay, and then finally, our quote for this evening. In matters of style, swim with the current. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. Thomas Jefferson. Okay. All right, so next up we have, all right, are there any committee chairs that would like to give a report tonight? Chair Lilly.
There is an effective date next week, and it's on the calendar.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. Any other committee chairs that would like to give a report? Chair Shirkey.
We've got something called the Student Issue Survey going out on November 17th. That'll be going out through mostly the student organization emails, but I will send an email in the entire SGA listserv. I will send you a link and a QR code, and I encourage you all to send that to your respective colleges, departments, whatever your methods of getting that word out there are. I don't know how your colleges put out messages. I don't know what kind of electronic or paper forums you have for distributing information, but I do know that if you're not in here, we're not going to be paying attention to your college as much next year when we look at like, oh, what are the very specific issues we can tackle, because we're just not going to hear about it unless those people that have these unique mental health problems, resources problems, access, financial problems, those things are in the government. We don't know. That's why we collect this data. So I'll send out an email for that. Send that through your departments. That'll also be put out through the normal channels like SPI and all that. So thank you.
Any other committee chairs that would like to give a report? Are there any directors that would like to give a report tonight? Pro Tem Lee?
Hello. I hope you guys enjoyed Marshall Stewart. He's a hoot. So Tang Radio Show is coming up in December 11th. So I know I had sent that form out. Thank you for filling it out to all the folks who did. We've reached our magic number of 20. We have a little bit over 20, like 21. So there's some people that are on there that are tentative. So I'm going to talk to you guys after Senate to confirm the details, because if you're in or you're not in, then that make sure that we have enough. We can only take 20 people onto this show. So if you have any questions about the radio show, let me know. I'll be sending out an email to all the people that filled out the form that said that they're coming on December 11th to give you more details on what's going on. So yeah. questions?
We're good.
Great.
Senator Zacco.
Shout out Joseph for telling me I could come up during director's reports. This is groundbreaking information for me. I'm very excited. So, guess what? Emerging leaders. I'm here to talk about it. So, today before Senate, I had my last interview. So, I've officially interviewed all the Phase 1 emerging leaders interested in Phase 2, and my final list of Phase 2 people will be sent out via email tomorrow morning, and then they'll be getting sworn in front of you guys next week. So, very exciting. We are still needing more mentors. So please, 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 please sign up. We have some people that are interested in very niche things, and I think a lot of you have those little like niche skills or like interests that I can pair up with some mentees. So I'm going to read out the names of the legislative people who signed up, and if you don't hear your name, you need to scan that QR code and sign up. Can I not do that? I can't mention people? Bruh.
Send it to the group chat. We're all
Just describe the people.
Chair Black.
Can I move to suspend the rules and let her do that?
No.
Wait, why not?
Son of a gun.
Anna, is that?
You can't suspend it.
I would love to, but yeah.
Okay, fine.
Just
Well,
can you send the name?
yes, I'll be sending it in the group me.
Chair Lilly.
I moved to recess for 1 minute and I'll stay.
Second.
All right, we got a 1 minute recess.
Okay, so here we go. Legislative people who are already signed up. Congrats to you. Very proud of you. If you're not signed up, scan the QR code and sign up. Okay, we have Emma Holmes, Max Black, Philip Shirkey, Samantha Sushanik, Alondra Alvarez, Evelyn Ediger. That's not legislative. Andrew Lee, Matt Holzmeister, Carson Rudd, Mandolin Otto, William Trump, Joseph Lilly, Anna Cope, Kaylin Phillips, and the rest are exec. So let's get those numbers up, guys. Come on. The QR code's about as big as it can get, so.
How many execs signed up versus?
Senator Pena.
Would we be paired with someone? Like, if we were to like co-parent one?
Oh, you want to co-parent? If you guys both sign up, we can make that happen if we have enough mentors.
Any other questions? All right.
Oh.
Chair Lilly.
Yeah, how many people from exec signed up and how many people from the legislative branch signed up?
So the names of who I just read are who signed up from legislative. Exec, we have Brady and Zoe and Delaney. And then like an hour ago, we got Audrey Byers, Cooper Hillman, and Demi Aduwu? Is that how you say his name? Demi. So 3 from exec plus president, vice president, chief of staff.
So there are like 10 legislative people signed up.
There's more of us though. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like 6 out of their 15 people are signed up.
So sign up.
Well, I will say
They're beating
judicial.
us right now.
Judicial's definitely slacking. There's a lot of interest in judicial and like not as much like mentors signed up. There's literally 2, and that's Katie and Josh. So if you're friends with any of the judicial people, please tell them to sign up because otherwise I'm gonna have some bad news for my mentees that want judicial.
Chair Black.
yeah, point of information, we're the best branch, so I don't see why we're comparing ourselves to the numbers of the executive branch people.
Retweet. All right. Any other questions? We'll recruit some judicial people.
Okay.
All right. Any other directors that would like to give a report tonight? All right. Seeing none, we'll move into final action. First up, we have Bill 252642, an increase of the K-State Student Union Operations Agreement that was referred back favorably from SSF 9-0. Will the author please come forward? Were there, oh, what? Oh, Chair Lilly?
I move to allow the author to summarize.
It's final action.
We're in final action.
Were there any changes made in committee?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right, you have first rise to debate.
This is one of the more fun things that we get to do as a student government because it's just a simple, common sense solution to a problem that one of our agencies were facing. It didn't take us a lot of our time to make their lives so much easier. They've just hired on a new accountant for this position, maybe, possibly, or at least they're in talks of doing that. And they will know that their starting salary will be able to be sustained over the next years at this higher level, which obviously made it a lot easier to hire and retain somebody. It's really important to retain good people, especially when we require a lot of institutional knowledge, and us students are leaving every 4 years. So it's a small drop in the pan out of our $16 million budget to make a lot of people's lives in that office a lot more easier, and to help students get their money for sports clubs and travel allocations a lot quicker.
Let's debate in the positive. Is there any debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Is there any further debate at all? And with that, we will move into a roll call vote on Bill 252642.
Perfect. Alvarez. Alvarez.
Proxy.
Alvarez. Okay. Barnes.
Yes.
Benson.
Yes.
Black.
Yes.
Biswell.
Yes.
Brown Logan. Brown Wyatt.
Yes.
Carey.
Yep.
Koch.
Yes.
Dunn.
Yes.
Dominguez.
Yes, by proxy.
Erickson.
Yes.
Freeman.
Yes.
George. Where'd he go? Hold on 1 sec. Sorry, guys. I got to hide someone off the list. Glasscock.
Yes.
Guru Shanker.
Yes.
Halstead.
Yes, by proxy.
Heller.
Abstain.
Hernandez. Holmes.
Yes.
Holzmeister.
Yes.
Hoffman. Kramer.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yep.
Karuna-Rathna.
Yes.
Jacobson.
Yes.
Hassan Shakib.
Yes.
Oh, got him. Landwehr.
Yes.
Lilly.
Yes.
Loeb. Mickey.
Abstain.
Mitchell.
Yes.
Olengunju. Otto.
Yes.
Pena. Perry.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Polanco Castro.
Yes.
Potter.
Yes.
Prey.
Yes, by proxy.
Rafferty.
Yes.
Richburg.
Yes.
Richenberg.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Rudd.
Yes, by proxy.
Scarborough.
Yes.
Shellhaze.
Yes.
Shirky.
Yes.
Shasavari.
Yes.
Solis. Excuse Springer.
Yes.
Sushanik.
Yes.
Till.
Yes.
Trump.
Yes.
Zacco.
Yes.
Perfect. Has every senator had the chance to vote? Does any senator wish to change their vote? Seeing none, Bill 252642 passes 48 to 0 to 2.
All right, next up we have Bill 252643, the disapproval of the Joint Committee on Officers' Compensation set of salary recommendations. That was referred favorably from SSF 9 to 0 to 0. Will the author or authors please come forward?
I got it.
Were there votes made in committee?
I don't believe so. Chair Sushanik? I don't think there were any changes made in SSF.
Did we add a 10?
No.
No.
It's not there in
Then
the
nope, we
agenda
didn't
at
change
least,
it.
so.
Perfect.
No changes were made in committee.
All right, you have first rise to debate.
All right. I'll be sticking to some of the more technical sides of this. So points 2, 6, 8, and 9 of the legislation. Point 2, per state and federal regulations, diversity, equity, inclusion are not acceptable guidelines for funding decisions. Equity is specifically used as a funding guideline in the Joint Committee's report. It would be deeply suboptimal if the Senate allowed a report to be made automatically final that risked non-compliance with state or federal guidelines. Point 6, this is a more substantive, less like contemporary political thing. Point 6, a member of a officer had their workload reduced, and the stated theory in the report was this work that's being done by the officer has been delegated to inferior officers within their branch. If that is true, it would not be reasonable policy to not increase one of those inferior officers by the same amount the superior officer was decreased by. Point 8 is another technical problem. Because the Joint Committee uses a scholarship percent tuition criteria to define certain compensation, it has to define like what percent it's actually going to use. Tuition obviously changes based on how many credit hours you work. Their numeric definition is 14 credit hours. This is just a suboptimal policy because with the KBOR requirements of 120 credit hours for an undergraduate degree, your average student, therefore your average student government member, is going to be enrolled in 15 credit hours per semester. It would be more reasonable for the Senate to award compensation using the average enrollment values rather than a lower level of enrollment, and so the Senate should support the bill for point 8. And then lastly, point 9, there is a question of what happens if an officer of the government is paying out-of-state tuition. How do we award a scholarship based on percent tuition? And the current answer in the current report is that if it is every officer role except the president, you will award in-state tuition. But if it is the president, you will award out-of-state tuition in the event that the office holder is paying out-of-state tuition. It is suboptimal for the Senate to have a selective tuition requirement. It would be a superior policy to either have out-of-state tuition as blanketly acceptable, which for the record we are allowed to do without breaking the budget because there's an overall cap, or there will be an overall cap on JCOC payments. There's no risk to the government if we pay out-of-state tuition for all actors, or it would be a superior policy for the Senate to pay officers with exclusively in-state tuition, regardless of whether they're out-of-state or in-state. Which one is the best is probably not our decision. That's a matter for JCOC to decide, but it would be a very suboptimal policy for us to be selective and to promote certain positions with exceptions and not others. And so for point 9, we should disapprove of these recommendations and allow the Joint Committee to create a standardized out-of-state tuition policy. Those are the only points I'm going to focus on, so that's the end of my debate.
Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any debate in the negative? Senator Freeman?
Hi, I was actually on the JCOC committee. Okay. In section 2, the whereas clause, or no, after the whereas clause, the first point, I completely understand why people are upset about that because at the time when we were debating this in JCOC, the bylaws were not updated to show the changes in legislated duties. I completely understand how that's frustrating and see why people want to change that. Number 2, take equity out. Cool, awesome, agree. I think it's in there twice is what we went and found. We'll just remove it completely. Point 3, stating that we did not properly collect data is not true and not fair to say because the survey was sent out to all previous officers dating back to 2022 and a follow-up email was sent. I cannot control people filling out a survey. That's not on me. I can't sit there and make you type out your answers. If you didn't fill it out, you didn't fill it out. We did everything in our power to collect that data. Point 4, we didn't properly utilize data collected from other students. We did. We sent out a survey to all K-Board and Big 12 institutions. We just run a little differently, so it's not fair to like compare solely based on that, but it was taken into consideration and it is something we talked about in our meetings. Point 5 that did not, the fixed compensation, especially for Attorney General, not really sure what that's about because Attorney General is a branch head and it would be so unbelievably fair to not fund them as a branch head when they're doing just as much work as the other branch heads. B of 5, hourly compensation for emerging leaders coordinator. We debated that for 2 hours straight. It's something we are willing to look at. We had no data given to us about emerging leaders. It was sent out to all of the emerging leaders coordinators at the time. I can't really do anything about that. If you have a specific way of how you want them compensated hourly or how you want to work that into the budget, let us know because we went back and forth about it. C, I think what it's alluding to is parking passes. That's not in JCOG's term. In previous JCOG reports, it states that we can't do parking passes. If you want us to put that back in, we can. Didn't think it was necessary again. 7, did not evaluate the financial committee chairs. That's kind of like similar to point 1, I think, so I understand that. The SAC chair not being thoroughly reviewed, it was thoroughly reviewed. I think there was a little misconstruing of the wording when we were presenting. We did review the bylaws for them. They changed after our report was made. Understand why it's not considered that. I believe Philip mentioned, or previous speaker, sorry, that point 6, that the workload was changed and we didn't delegate based on that for the chairs. Their workload wasn't changed. We just reevaluated how that there was structured, and that's why we changed compensation. What else? Oh, the big thing that I really wanted to say was that we went off legislated duties and what was legislated, not hourly compensation or how many hours people are putting into each week, because that's going to vary person by person, chair by chair, speaker by speaker. Like, it's going to be different per year, and it's not fair to say, well, this person put in 20 hours a week and this person put in 10 this year. If we go based off legislative duties, it just blankets it and says, you have to do this. This is why you're compensated for that.
Seeing as that was debate in the negative, is there any debate in the positive? Chair Black.
To kind of address some of previous speakers' concerns, I don't really disagree with the decisions that that JCOC made at all. I think I would have made a lot of the same decisions had I been in that situation myself. But I think that it is important to pass this disapproval because of the changes in legislation that we made, and then also, I do not believe that the committee could, in good faith, make decisions when they did not know what their budget was going to be for the upcoming terms because it was currently under review. So right now in Student Allocations Committee, we're reviewing our sports club applications for next fiscal year. But we cannot make decisions on how much we're going to allocate these clubs yet because we do not know what our budget is going to be. So we're pushing that back because we need to know these things to make these decisions. So it's not that it's not that I necessarily disagree with how JCOC came to the conclusions in any way. I just think that it needs to be reviewed again because we made changes in the legislative duties to these officer positions, which is what they based theirs off of, and then the fact that they did not have their upcoming budget for the next 3 fiscal years.
Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Is there any further debate at all? Chair Lilly? Is this positive or negative?
Neutral.
Okay.
I'm not arguing this. I do want to say, I think, like, the vast majority of the reason for this bill is not, like, it's not JCOC bad. It's not saying we think they did a bad job or anything of the sort. It just, there have been a lot of changes since. I forgot to go up during first open period for two separate things, but one of them was the Gov Docs are almost updated. Ops is looking at them next week, so I can get those to JCOC by the time they, or I guess right after they meet next week. Right? Doesn't matter.
Seeing as that was a debate in the negative, is there any further debate in the positive or any further debate at all? All right, and with that, we will move into a roll call vote on Bill 252643.
Alvarez,
Yes.
Barnes, Benson,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Biswell,
Yes.
Brown Logan,
Yes.
Brown Wyatt,
Yes.
Carey,
Yes.
Koch,
Yes.
Dunn,
No.
Dominguez,
Yes, by proxy.
Erickson,
Yes.
Freeman,
No.
George. Where'd he go? Glasscock. Oh, okay, I'll come back. Guru Shanker.
Yes.
Halstead.
Yes, by proxy.
Heller.
No.
Hernandez. Holmes.
Yes.
Holzmeister.
Pass?
Kramer.
Yes.
Oh, welcome. Kraus.
Yeah.
Karunaratne.
Yes.
Jacobson.
No.
Hassan Shakib.
Wait, yeah, sorry. Wait,
Yeah.
I got
Abstain from.
Sorry, Hassan Shakib, are you passing?
Abstain from.
Oh, okay, thank you. Jacobson. Oh, sorry, that line. I gotcha. Hold on. Landwehr.
No.
Lilly.
Yes.
Loeb. Mickey.
No.
Mitchell.
Abstain.
Olingunju.
Yes.
Otto.
Yes.
Pena.
No.
Perry.
Yes, by proxy.
Phillips.
Yes.
Polanco Castro.
Yes.
Potter.
No.
Prey.
Abstain by proxy.
Rafferty.
Abstain.
Richburg.
Yes.
Richenberg.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Rudd.
No by proxy.
Scarborough.
Abstain.
Shellhaze.
Yes.
Shirky.
Yes.
Shasavari.
Yes.
Springer.
No by proxy.
Sushanik.
Yes.
I got you, Springer. Till. Trump.
Yes.
Sacco.
Yes.
I'm gonna go down my list again, y'all. All right. George. All right. Glasscock.
Yes, apologies.
No worries. Hernandez. Holzmeister.
No.
Loeb. Solis. Okay. Has every senator had a chance to vote? Does any senator wish to change their vote? Okay, seeing none. Bill 252643 passes 36 to 10 to 5.
All right, we will now move into introduction of legislation. Is there a motion to consider Resolution 252629? Chair Shirky.
I move to consider resolution 29.
Second.
All right, will the author please come forward?
Resolution 252629, resolution to address food insecurity during federal shutdown. Author Chase Glasscock, sponsors Philip Shirky, Samantha Sushanik, Katie Zatko, Andrew Lee, Evelyn Ediger. Whereas Cat's Cupboard is a food pantry located on the Kansas State University campus, which served 2,300 students during the fall 2024 semester. Whereas 6.3% of students attending KSU utilize the federally maintained Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, totaling nearly 1,000 students at the Manhattan campus. Whereas SNAP benefits have been disrupted due to a federal government shutdown, leaving students to stretch October benefits into November. Whereas the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, has determined that partial payments of SNAP will be made in the month of November, totaling 50% of usual SNAP benefits. Whereas partial payments may take up to 2 weeks to arrive in electronic benefit transfer EBT cards, leaving KSU students with both a disruption of SNAP benefits and insufficient funds once disbursement occurs. Whereas students receiving SNAP benefits are likely to utilize Cats Cupboard during this disruption. Whereas the week of October 27 saw the highest number of visitors to Cats Cupboard since the beginning of the semester, and the pantry is struggling to keep both item quantity and variety at adequate levels while staying within current budget constraints. Whereas the debt reduction and emergency allocation account currently contains $2,261,039. Whereas the Kansas State University Student Governing Association has historically partnered with and funded Cats Cupboard to address food insecurity, and whereas funds are available to reimburse or temporarily fund Cats Cupboard for increased costs during SNAP disruptions. Be it resolved that, Section 1, the Kansas State University Student Governing Association intends to reimburse or provide a temporary allocation to Cats Cupboard for any increase in spending up to a maximum of $40,000 due to SNAP disruptions. Compensated increases in spending due to SNAP disruptions include, but are not limited to, increases above historical averages of daily pantry visits, items taken per visit, cost per item, and employee pay from October 27 through the day when full SNAP benefits are dispersed to Kansas EBT cards. Section 2, KSU SGA requests that Cats Cupboard use all available resources to reduce food insecurity for students until full Kansas SNAP benefits have been dispersed. Section 3, upon passage by the Student Senate and signature of the Student Body President, a copy of this resolution shall be sent to Morrison Family Associate, VP for Student Wellbeing Kathleen Hatch, Morrison Family Director of Cats Cupboard Shelley Williams, Morrison Family Center for Student Wellbeing Director Christopher Bowman, Vice President for Student Life and Dean of Students Dr. Thomas Lane, and University President Dr. Richard H. Linton.
Are there any questions or corrections for the author? Chair Shirkey.
I have a question. This is a resolution that says we intend to fund. Usually we pass a bill that does funding. That's weird.
Yes, it is.
Why are we doing this?
So the reason behind that is because effectively I asked Cats Cupboard what would be more useful, a commitment from us that we will financially back them during this time, or an allocation maybe 2 or 3 weeks down the line once, theoretically this problem has resolved. And they said that they would rather have the confidence right now that they can spend into some of their carryover funds that they have in a little bit of excess this year and use that, and then we reimburse them later, as opposed to going through the bureaucracy of getting a proper allocation through. So it's possible that this ends up being only like a few $1,000s, $10,000, and not reach the $40,000 cap.
Madam Speaker, a follow-up.
Granted.
So to clarify, they have enough money in their operational budget that they can choose to spend, say, $40,000 over the next month as a consequence of the shutdown.
Effectively, yes. But that would probably leave them dry and mean that if something else happens next year or the year after, because if SNAP continues to be kind of a political thing, that might leave them in a really bad situation. And they don't want to be left in that. And so their plan was to spend pretty conservatively during this time before. So
thanks for putting that on the record.
Any other questions or corrections? Senator Brown.
So that maximum of $40,000 that we would give them, is that coming from the SGA budget?
Yeah, so that would be coming from, it specifies the DREA, which is effectively whenever we have a surplus in a given year, it goes into that as kind of a reserve amount that has about $2 million in it. So it would be coming from that, likely. We could choose other places for it to come from, but it would be coming from SGA, yes.
Chair Suchanek.
As a point of information, Cats Cupboard is still in their 3-year probationary period, so this is directly in line with what we should be doing to keep a close eye on their funding and how much they need or don't need over the next 3 years, so we're best serving the community.
Any other questions or corrections?
I have a quick correction. USDA has changed their number from 50% of total SNAP allocations to 65% just today, so.
All right, anything else? Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Oh, Senator Glasscock.
I move to Special Order Resolution 29.
Okay, so we will now move into, well, are there any objections to special order? All right, that's a debatable motion.
Okay.
Say first rights to debate.
This problem is happening right now. I want to make sure it's dealt with right now. Cats Cupboard really needs the confidence right now that they will be financially backed, that they don't push themselves into a bad financial situation. If this waits another week, it's possible that students who need help right now aren't able to get it. So that's why.
All right, seeing as that was debate in the positive on the motion to special order this bill, is there any debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Is there any further debate at all? All right, so now we will move into debate on whether to, well, actually just on the bill itself, final action. So, huh? Oh, sorry. Okay. All right. All in favor of special ordering this bill, please raise your placards now. Proxies raised too. All opposed, same sign. All right, we will now move into final action. Senator Glasscock. There were no changes made in committee. Do you have fixed rights to debate?
I don't want to take more of your time. This is very necessary. This is with some very long talks with Cats Cupboard to make sure that this is the right amount. This is what they need at this time. It was put together pretty quickly, but this is kind of a very weird situation, and so we wanted to make sure that it's done right. So, thank you.
Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any debate in the negative? Chair Lilly.
I have a question that you might refer to someone. How much money do they go through in a given week?
The amount that they go through in a given week in terms of food is approximately $3,000. Right now, there are talks because Harvesters is usually where they get their food from, and Harvesters is also having problems. So it may be more, just to make sure that they have adequate food supplies and the right types of food. But $3,000 is usually what we'd expect in a week. And then probably $2,000 extra for student employee salaries, and so that might increase to deal with that higher load.
Granted.
Would it be a friendly amendment to lower the $40,000 amount for now so that we have more time to talk about how much money we can fund them like for the next 3 weeks at a smaller amount, and then like actually have time to decide more in depth how much we want to give them and what it's going to look like?
So, the $40,000 was given by Cats Cupboard as to what, in kind of the worst case scenario, what they would need. In theory, we could do it for like a couple of weeks and then come back here in like 3 weeks and then do it again. But I think that uncertainty is probably going to serve worse. And I think that if this goes longer, then having that 40,000 cap in place from the beginning helps more than hurts. So, and it is very likely with how the federal shutdown talks are going that this will be resolved in 2 or 3 weeks. And in that case, the cap won't really play into huge kind of concern here. So.
Did you wish to make the amendment?
It would probably not be a friendly amendment because this was the number that I was specifically given by Cats Cupboard.
With what?
Chair Shirky.
With what confidence? In line with their monthly budget? What was?
So here's kind of some numbers on the scope of this. With some back-of-the-napkin calculations, students at K-State probably receive around $160,000 a month in SNAP benefits. Cats Cupboard probably has a 2 or 3 to 1 compared to a student buying food and Cats Cupboard buying food. And so $40,000 in a single month, we don't really know if these SNAP benefits are going to get here at the end of this month, beginning of next month. In some states, it will be up to a month if full benefits don't go through. And so that is for a year, for a month, they're confident that $40,000 will be enough to help SNAP students to the full amount right now. So.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Chair Lilly, did you wish to introduce the amendment or?
Not myself.
Okay, all right. Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Chair Suchanek.
So while this bill is a little bit unorthodox, we don't normally pass legislation that says in the future we promise to think about maybe giving you money. I do think it is the best course of action for right now. I think it's important for the room to know that I've gotten the green light both as the chair and from my advisors, and we even brought it even higher up the chain in Anderson, even talking to Dr. Lane about if we could bring in Cats Cupboard on Monday to present on giving them a one-time emergency allocation. And that got full green light approval all the way up the chain to just allocate out this money as they needed it right now. But I think this is a better course of action to kind of let things settle down, see how long the shutdown actually lasts, and see what amount they need instead of just rushing to give them funds. So this might seem like a lot to be promising up to 40K, but this is the more conservative, strong head on our shoulders, protect student dollars type of thinking. It sounds a little scary to be promising funds, but they're still a part of their probationary period right now. Part of that is we want to see what their data looks like over 3 years of usage in their new facility. And this shutdown is going to pretty drastically skew that data. They're going to be going through funds this year a lot more than they normally would. So this kind of will help to float them, make up for this weird anomaly, and give us more useful data to look at 3 years from now when we want to see, do we actually want to keep Cats Cupboard on the feet, and is this sustainable for us? So spending a little bit now will help senators 3 years from now make a good decision. And I think passing this resolution is a great decision to show Cats Cupboard that we are listening, we're paying attention, we care, but let's all slow down a little bit and make sure we're making the best decision about what that dollar amount is going to be instead of just writing a blanket check.
Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the, are you positive or negative? Chair Lilly.
So the reason I did not amendment is because it says we intend to. It is not actually promising money. So if anything weird goes on, we can still be like, hey, we didn't like that, and not give them the full amount. Or if we think they need the full amount, they can still get it. So it is not like a qualitative difference in the amount in and of itself, because we still get to choose later.
All right, seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any further debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Any further debate at all right, we will move into a hand vote on Resolution 25, 26, 29. All those in favor, please raise your placards now. Proxies raised 2. All opposed, same sign. All right, Resolution 29 passes. Okay. Now move into second open period. Are there any second open period speakers? All right. We have Senate shout-outs. Whenever you're ready.
Yes. 1 second.
Take your time.
Thank you so much, Evelyn.
Welcome.
Today for Senate shout-outs, we have 19 responses. All right. So, shout out to public service. Shout out to Andrew calling out my spelling last week. I'm just a girl. I don't remember doing that, but I'm sorry if I did that to you. Shout out to Deeply, oh, I see now. Shout out to Deeply Suboptimal. Shout out to Anna begging to get time for questions extended. Shout out to 6'7". Shout out to Shaving for this warmer weather. That's true. Shout out to Betsy Bear. Don't know who that is.
Wait, who put that? That's my sorority's mascot.
Any other AZDs in the crowd? Raise your hand now. Shout out to Joseph doing his committee report during debate. Shout out Jill for giving a director's report during debate. Shout out to Rain Bet What is that? Oh. Gamble responsibly, folks. Shout out to Preach Max. Shout out to Jaycock's excellent work. Yes. Shout out to co-parenting. Shout out to watching football during Senate. Who's playing tonight? Okay.
Broncos and
Raiders, I think.
thank you.
Let's go Broncos. Yeah. Any Raiders fans? You're a Raiders fan?
This is not a safe space for Raiders fans.
Wait, so we need the Broncos to lose?
Yeah, we need the Raiders.
Aren't the Raiders like trash anyways? Oh, okay. Very good, very good. Yes, they need to lose. Shout out, okay, Willie Nelson shirt. Represent Chair Black. Shout out to our real life audiobook. Shout out to Emily's first time at the podium. Shout out to our new expected couple, Papa Pena and Papa Mickey. Today is November 6th, which makes it 6/7 tomorrow. Shout out to Trenton Rogers. Dude, pretty dripped out tonight. Shows your outfit, Trenton. What do you got going on today? What are you wearing? Oh, look at him. Very K-State. Yes, Trenton, very good. Shout out. I think that's it for shout outs. So.
I'd like to add my own shout out. Shout out to Derek Jackson doing 6'7" in the back. Don't think I didn't.
Show the class. Show the class. Yes, Derek, very good.
All right. So we don't have any reference of legislation. Now we have our second roll call. Speaker Pro Tem Lee, take it away.
Okay. I closed my roll call. Sorry, guys. Alvarez.
Alvarez is here.
Oh, my computer's being really slow. Sorry, guys. Okay. Alvarez is here? No, she's not. She's excused. Okay. Barnes. Benson. Black. Biswell. Brown Logan. Brown Wyatt. Carey. Koch. Dunn. Erickson. Freeman. George. There you go. Glasscock. Guru Shanker. Heller. Hernandez. Holmes. Holzmeister. Hoffman. Kramer. Karina Rosna.
Here.
Kraus. Jacobson. Hassan Shakib. Landwehr. Lily. Loeb. Mickey. Mitchell. Holingunju. Holingunju. She's okay. Great. Otto. Pena. Phillips. Polanco Castro. Potter. Perfect. Rafferty. Richburg. Richenberg. Rogers. Scarborough. Shellhaze. Shirky. Shasavari.
Guys, we're almost done. Sorry.
If you don't hear your name, it's not my fault. Springer. Sushanik. Till. Trump. Zacko. Right, that's good for me.
All right. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Second.
Chair Black.
So moved.
Senator Glasscock. Wait, I cannot hear.
I move to adjourn until same time, same place next week.
Second.
All right. Any objections? All those in favor, raise your placards now. Proxies raised 2. All opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you. Andrew,